Hey there, it's Steve from Serious Keto, and in last week's recipe video, I showed you how I make my faux apple pie filling. This week, I'm going to show you how I use it. Down in the description below, I will include a link to the printable recipe for the faux apple pie filling along with the macronutrients. I am not going to calculate macronutrients or do any sort of a recipe for the things that I'm going to show you in this video because really it's more about inspiring you to do some creative things. And the first two recipes that I'm going to show you are the apple pie egg roll and hand pie or empanada. For the egg roll, I've got an 8-inch low-carb tortilla. This is the Tumero brand, Carb-Wise, I think it's called. I'll load this up with about a half a cup of my apple pie filling and then brush the edges with some egg wash here. Fold over the top and hit that with a little more egg wash as well. And then we'll see how well I can roll this up. Get the edges nice and tight. A little more egg wash here for the flap. Ooh, looking good. I'll be using the street taco size tortillas from La Banderita, and then I've got this little empanada hand pie folder. It was less than $3 on Amazon. I'll link to it down in the description below. I will add my filling. I'm going to estimate this is probably somewhere around a third to a half a cup. Again, brushing the edges with the egg wash to seal it. And then we'll push this together to seal it. Wow, that is slick. That really, really turned out nice. So I am going to use my egg wash here and coat both sides of my egg roll and my hand pie or empanada, whatever we want to call it, so that it browns nicely on both sides. Put these into the air fryer basket. Then I'm going to set my chef maker here to air fry 380 degrees Fahrenheit or 195 Celsius for 8 to 10 minutes. At about the 6-minute mark, I'm going to flip each of these over so that they brown on both sides. And once they're done, I'm going to just give them a little coating with some butter and then a little cinnamon and allulose mixture. You can use whatever sweetener you want, but I'm a fan of allulose. I've got a big bag of cinnamon and allulose mixed together just for occasions like this. Look at this. Doesn't this look pretty? Now normally I would just bite off the end and work my way down through, but I'm going to cut this in half just so you can see the inside and so that I can take a picture for the thumbnail. Probably could have gone just a smidge longer in the air fryer on this to make this a little bit more firm. Dab a little of my whipped topping onto this.
It's like an apple pie from McDonald's.
Exactly. That is really, really awesome. I think I'm going to let my wife take a bite.
Does it taste like McDonald's apple pie?
Well, you're going to have to try it and see what you think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, cream too is delicious. Yeah, this is definitely even better than McDonald's. This is old school though. McDonald's apple pie is not. I don't know if they even have them anymore. So, but
Winner?
I don't go to. Yes, winner. Good job, dear. Thanks.
Next up, I'm going to make a faux apple tart with goat cheese. And for the crust on the tart, I'm going to refer to this book right here. This should just be called the Bible of Keto Baking. It is the ultimate guide to keto baking by Carolyn Ketchum, who I absolutely adore. This book, if I were to only have one keto cookbook, it would be this. Basically because I'm not very good at baking. But this book really kind of has me covered for all of my baking needs. I'll start with 3/4 of a cup of almond flour, to which I will add 2 tablespoons of sweetener. I'm using the all-purpose in the raw blend. And a pinch of salt. And I'll mix together the dry ingredients, get rid of any clumps, and add 2 tablespoons of melted butter, which then I will mix in until all the dry ingredients have been absorbed and it's looking pretty much like this. Then I'm going to start scooping this into a mini tart pan. Using my fingers, I'm going to flatten this out along the bottom and up against the edges. And I find this is one of those activities that I can just keep doing and doing, trying to get it perfect, but eventually you call it good enough. Poke it with a fork a few times so it doesn't puff up too much in the oven, and then it's off to the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 175 Celsius for about 10 minutes or until it's got this nice golden brown color going for it. If it puffs up a little bit, that's okay. It'll deflate as it cools down. While the tart crust cools off, I'm going to make a single serving faux apple crisp. For my faux apple crisp topping, I have some keto-friendly granola here, 1/4 cup. And on top of that, I'm going to pour 1 tablespoon of melted butter. Stir this around to make sure it's all coated, and then I'll flatten it out and just let it absorb that butter for a few minutes. Once the butter's absorbed, I'm going to use the back of a fork here just to break up some of these larger chunks so that it gives me a more uniform topping. And then I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of erythritol. And this is definitely an instance where you want to use an erythritol-based sweetener because it's going to make sure that that top stays nice and crisp for you. Into a little ramekin, I'm going to put about 1/2 cup of my apple pie filling and then top it with my granola crisp. Then I'm going to assemble my apple tart. And I really kind of got lucky here. I had just the right amount of this filling to finish off this tart. Then on top of this, I'm going to crumble a little bit of goat cheese. I just love the taste of goat cheese with apples. They really pair together wonderfully. And I got to go wash my hands. And finally, I'm going to wrap a little foil ring around the outside of this tart just to make sure the edge of that crust doesn't cook any more than it already has. Then I'm going to pop the tart and the crisp into an oven at 300 degrees Fahrenheit or 150 degrees Celsius for 15 minutes or until that goat cheese starts to get a little bit of a golden color to it. Check this out. See that? That's what we're looking for. We'll let that cool along with the apple crisp. Oh, it smells so good in here. While I wait for those to cool, here's a crisp that I made yesterday, and it's been in the fridge. See that top? Kind of solid there. Bust down in. I kind of wonder how it would be with some of the Aviate Lupini flakes. That may have to be a future experiment, but man, this is good stuff right here. So now we'll get my wife's non-keto opinion.
Yeah, totally like apple pie, apple crisp. It's really good. And the zucchini, right?
Yep, same stuff.
Crazy from our garden. Very good, dear. Yep.
Be better if I still had some of that whipped cream.
Yeah.
But I bet you warming that up and putting some ice cream on it, like some keto chow ice cream, that would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, like the one you just, you could make the keto chow. Yep. Perfect. Thanks.
After dinner, Terry and I tried out that tart. I'm pretty excited about this. I don't want to say any more because I want Terry to try it and get her impression.
Oh dear. Oops.
Is that your stomach growling?
Yeah, I just
You're pretty excited about that pie, huh?
I guess.
Or a tart.
You just had supper. Wow. It's just, again, it's like apple. It's just appleness. It's great. It's like eating from my trees, our apple trees, but it's zucchini. It's crazy. And the goat cheese is so yummy. The crust is real good. So whatever crust you made.
That was from Carolyn Ketchum.
Okay.
And All Day I Dream About Food in her cookbook. She's
very flaky and buttery. It tastes like butter too.
Yeah.
It's not, it's light. It's not.
Yeah, it's a simple recipe, but it's awesome.
Yeah, buttery. Good stuff. Good stuff, dear.
One thing that I tried to do in this video, but it didn't turn out quite to my level of expectation, was a stuffed, it would be an apple stuffed waffle, that's what I'm trying to say, using the Stuffler waffle maker. Once I get that dialed in though, that could be a future video. So hopefully you enjoyed this video or found it inspirational. If you did, please click that like button. If you're not a subscriber already, tap that subscribe button, then hit the bell to turn on all notifications. And if you'd like to help support the channel and get a few perks in exchange, click that join button and see what memberships are all about. Thanks for watching.